No. How was your rest day, your holiday?
Um, it's just another day.
Just another day. Sure
Yeah.
is. Sure
Uh-huh.
is. Before you know it, it's over. Before you,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. And here we are again. We're continuing. We're continuing with our, what we gonna call it, our mission, our calling. We don't know how we get here, but here we are. Here we are. And I'm so happy we did. It's not always been easy, but if you're out there and you're doing the work on self, every day more and more just proves to me we have to do this work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do this work. There's no one coming to help us. There's no help out there. There's no help out there, and it's such um we're going so deeper and deeper into what we think. What I thought when I started this like over a year ago, I had no idea how deep this all was gonna take me. I just knew there was a deeper understanding of the Bible that I need to dig out, that I need to
Mm-hmm.
follow. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where we're at. And the Bible, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, the Bible is this. Oh, the Bible is everything. It's our interpretation of the Bible that has us bonded. Oh my God, I can't believe I believed all those things literally. It is never meant for us to take literally. I can safely say the entire Bible is about how we get into that Christ consciousness. On a deeper level, I don't even think the characters in the Bible, if they really exist, but whoever wrote the Bible. I remember when I first started, I can't find that article, but I know the universe will bring it back to me that Shakespeare have a part in writing the Bible. Yep,
Interesting.
Shakespeare, because he's that and some people say it's not even a he, it's a lady, it's a black lady, but that's another thing for a different day. These people, the English language is what is our biggest Achilles heel, because these people have the knowledge of self. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. And this literary writing, it is so deep. These men probably went to some mystery school and all this. They know how to put these in words. And it's so allegorical that if you look into it, it just have this deeper meaning. Look at all the parables. Not that
Mm-hmm.
same, you know? And because Christ wasn't here to write what he said. So the way they put it, that we can everybody can get something out of it. These are literary work, literary work. And you want to say it's the word of God. I don't know if it's the word of God, but it's whatever it is. We are all God. If you want to call yourself, call them God in their own aspect. But this is to help us come into our knowledge of self. This is what this Bible was. And I remember I listened. I didn't read The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You ever hear about that story?
Yeah, I heard it, but I never read the book.
I never read the book, but I one day I was watching something and someone was doing a narration of the book, and it is so allegorical. It
Oh,
is. Oh my gosh, it's just coming into this power. Whatever is within us is so powerful. Sis, this Christ consciousness, this God, whatever you want to call it, that we are able to tap into. Mm, no wonder they've been hiding it from us. No wonder. And what they do in return, they keep us oppressed, or they keep us in lack. They keep all this is for us not to come into the knowledge of self. All what they do, the struggles, there don't have to be any struggles. The division, there don't have to be any division. The separation, there don't have to be any separation. And something came in my thought today, and I'm just gonna say it. And I was thinking, I'm like, when is white people gonna understand that they've been played just like we are. They're just another pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are just as another pawn in this game by some higher powers and than we are. I was just listening to this lady, and she'd be like, "Oh God, I can't believe racism still exists."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, they white people, and there are some that's waking up, have to come to the knowledge that this is all a game to keep this earth in low vibrational energy. This is all it is. For you to hate your brothers and sister by the color of their skin that they can't do nothing about. You're gonna hate me for something I can't do nothing about it. This is what I was given by my creator, you know?
Mm.
So we have to stop giving those things this kind of energy, this low energy. All that does is cause us ill health, and in turn cause us a breakdown in our society. There's Listen, we all of us have that God particle in us. All of us have that God particle in us to be anything we want to be and do anything we want to do.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. You want to say anything, sis? I haven't heard your voice in a while.
Oh no, I'm here
Okay.
learning and listening. I
Okay.
am unlearning to relearn.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's what we're doing,
Yes. Unlearning.
to relearn. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. And uh, and we're trying. We are trying. And last night I was up and I saw this article, Consciousness and the Quantum Field. Because you know, a lot of people we listen to talk about the quantum field. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza mainly um, talk about the quantum field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're just gonna just take a look at it. It's written by Daniel Raphael, and it's published by, it's his publishing company too. Daniel Raphael Publishing. No Broken Heart is an imprint of Daniel Raphael Publishing and Daniel Raphael Consulting. And this is their address in Colorado. And he wrote this in 2019.
Okay.
In 2019. So we're just going to take a look at it and what his impression is on. He's going to give us a few definitions on these words that you hear we use all the time: consciousness and mind and all that. And I can feel going into 2025, we're going to go so deep into this consciousness and and the mind. Oh, we're going to have a deeper understanding of what the mind is and being present and be in present, because I know I keep reading that time doesn't exist. And two things, time and perception, those are the things that's going to help us being present, quieting our mind, talking back to our mind, seeing our mind, what our mind is thinking. And next Wednesday night, we're gonna go. Christ Letter is gonna go into how we can quiet our mind and our thought, so we can stay in the present moment, and that's where creation happens. Because it's very important. It's like a reset
Mm-hmm.
when we're in the present moment. Just not worrying about tomorrow or yesterday, what's past and gone. And this is going to cover some of that. And it's just why I gravitate to this. And my sister and I were talking about what's coming up in the Christ letters about quieting our mind and our thoughts so we can be in the present moment. And this also says, talking about quieting our minds and our thought to be in the present moment. And just want to say one more thing. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about presumption. And I've been just this week, and I've been zooming down on my thoughts. And a lot of what we think it's a presumption. It's not necessarily truth. It's what we were it's what we were programmed to think.
Yeah.
For example, we feel a pain in our left arm. The first thing they taught us that pain in our left arm is a signal of a heart attack. And that's what coming on. And as soon as we feel it, that's where what our thoughts gonna take. That's where our
Mm-hmm.
thoughts gonna take us.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We create that. Our mind, with our eyes and our brain. Some people, I heard this girl said, with our eyes and our brain, it's 50%. Some people say it's between 10, maybe 10%, 3%. We're experiencing only maybe a half of what the thing really is. So when we're quick to say, oh, the pain in my arm is some form of sickness, let us quiet our thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
ask our thought, like, oh, do you know? I probably slept wrong on it last night. You know, my nerves, the nerves in my body is probably trying to repair something.
Yeah.
So those are the things I'm trying to tell my thoughts, like, no, that's not necessarily true. I'm gonna be sick. No, that's not necessarily true. That is just part of our programming. Those are just perceptions. And our perception become reality because we create whatever we're perceiving. Oh, my neighbor doesn't like me. I don't know for true that my neighbor doesn't like me. I'm just perceiving. That's a perception. Oh, Black people are lazy. That's a perception.
Mm.
All white people are rich. That's a perception. All white people are racist. That's a perception.
Yeah.
And we live and breathe, and we have to change that up. We have to change that's called form of reprogramming our subconscious, because our subconscious is telling us that those things are what they are. But now you're coming to this knowledge. We know that it's not necessarily truth, because with our eyes and our brain, our eyes see the thing, our brain try to make sense of it based on what we were programmed when we came into this earth. And they're not giving us the full truth of who we are. Our senses is just a minuscule percentage of who we are. It's with the electromagnetic field, the light coming in. So that's why the Bible is trying to tell us who we truly are. You know which scripture came to me, sis?
Uh,
When you know what scripture came to me? When Peter, when Jesus asked, "Who do you think I am?"
who do man say I am?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
who do men say I am?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And Peter
Uh-huh.
was the only one who get it right. Right. She was like, "You're the Christ." And
Yes.
what did Christ say? Said to him, "Flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you."
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You know, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you. That has to come from your divine self. That's what Christ was saying. And then he said, "Upon this rock, I'll build my
I was in
church."
my church. Yeah.
What was the rock? Peter means rock. What was the rock? The knowledge that the revelation of your higher self working through you. That's the church.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Upon this rock, I'll build my church, and the gates of hell cannot prevail." So if you do not have the knowledge of self, the gates of hell can prevail against you. What Christ
Yeah.
was telling Peter, the knowledge that he just said, that should what that's the foundation on which the church should be built on, because it was not flesh and blood. It's the divine aspect of him. That's the only way he could have known who Jesus is, who
Mm-hmm.
Christ was, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then they take old Peter body, and the church take it so literally. And now we see why the church can't prosper, because that's not what the church, Christ was saying the church should be built on. The church should be built on the divine aspect of us, not this physical body, not this physical world. Okay. Yeah, so those are just some of the things I just want to mention, because the goal is for us to reprogram our subconscious. You know, I look at my leg and I see a pimple, because that's what we've been told, and it pain, it hurts. Reprogram your mind. Tell your subconscious it's not a pimple. It's you're healed. Your feet is strong.
Yeah.
You know, reprogram it, because that's not what we've been told. It's not the entire truth. It's a perception of what the thing is. The way we look, it's not even what how we really look. It's everything combined. We are not solid. We're a bunch of cells, atoms put together. We have to understand it and stop identify with this body.
Yeah.
Identify with the I am. Why you said I am? Because you can add anything you want to the that powerful word. I am healed. We are that I am.
But even if you think about that, in the Bible, he said, "Let the poor say, I am rich." Let
Oh,
let the let
go ahead, sis. I don't know if you're hearing my husband. He's watching football.
um
Yeah.
no. So it says, "Let the weak say, I'm strong."
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes, because you're that perception of being weak, you're not weak. That
No,
perception of being poor, you're not poor.
exactly.
The perception of being ill, we're not ill. So only way we're gonna when that thought comes, you're gonna to know I am healthy. When that thought come about, you don't have any money in your bank account. I am rich.
Yeah, I am abundance.
I am
Yeah,
abundance.
yeah.
Yeah. We gotta reprogram our subconscious. That means reprogramming our thoughts to who we
Mm-hmm.
truly are. And it takes work, but we can do all things through Christ. All things. That Christ consciousness. All right. Yeah. Yeah, we this is a time we're living in, and this is where we're going into. And if you understand these things, you're not frightened by what you see going on the television. You're not frightened by every little thing. You have to know who you are. These platforms with me and my sister here talking, these not going to be here all the time. We're just here for now, for the few who find us and that your higher self sent us to you to wake you up to who you truly are.
Yep.
Because that's the only way we can survive what's coming. Know that, yeah, you're this physical body, but you also have a higher self. You are what's holding us. We are not just this body. And the more, no, we are not. And the more you have knowledge of this, you know, the more you see the world as something that has to go. It doesn't represent who we truly are. It doesn't represent love. It doesn't represent richness, abundance, health. No, this is not who we truly are. Okay, so we're gonna go into this article a little bit. And according to this author, consciousness is going to give a few definitions about consciousness and other things too. And the topic is consciousness at the quantum level. So it says consciousness is neutral. It is non-dimensional, non-temporal. Personal consciousness is a product of thought generated by the individual's mind, whether that thought is consciously invoked or unconsciously provided. Okay. So this is what he's saying, consciousness. So if you hear everyone talking about consciousness, it's just an awareness. And according to him, it can be personal. That's what we just think about, provided by us, our ego, or by our mind. And if we've been reading the Christ letters, and it tells us that our mind is the middleman between our thoughts and our divine self, our soul. So our soul tried to get to our mind to get to us. So our mind is keeping telling our ego self, hey, wake up, you're not just this body. Stop saying, oh, me, this body, this world, and there's nowhere else, and somebody's coming. Stop doing that. You know, that sixth sense that, and some of us would say, oh, my mind told me. We knew that, oh, I knew this was going to happen. My mind told me. That's your higher self constantly trying to reach you. So that's the unconscious part of us. That's the unconscious part of us. And the conscious part of us is what we're aware of, what we've been, what we see in this world and we can touch and we can feel. So all of that encompassed under consciousness? So consciousness is neutral. It is non-dimensional, non-temporal. Personal consciousness is a product of thought generated by the individual's mind, whether that thought is consciously invoked or unconsciously provided. And then you have stream of consciousness being non-dimensional, non-temporal, individual human consciousness, which is always operational and contributes to all human consciousness. Being non-dimensional and non-temporal, once created, it always exists. Ongoing consciousness as a product of all sentient humans created a global stream of consciousness that came into existence with the first conscious thoughts of the earliest thinking humanoids. Individual consciousness becomes almost palpable when individuals become aware of their thinking, observe their thinking, and begin to mull over what they were thinking, discern and is useful, and discern what is useful and what is not. So, yeah, so this is individual consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah. So, our individuality, even though we come from the same source, we get our individuality. That's the only that was given to us when we came into this earth. We all have an individuality, although we're from the same source. So individual consciousness become almost palpable when individuals become aware of their thinking. This is what we were talking about earlier. Become aware of our thinking, observe their thinking and begin to mull over what they were thinking, discern what is useful and what is not. And this is where we have to get to. I didn't know this was our thoughts and emotions, how important it was not to keep thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. You know, as we mentioned before, that our thoughts are not really, really true. Our thoughts are not really true because it's just getting information of 10% of what things really are. So when you come to the realization, listen, I have to stop thinking like this. I have to stop thinking that when my arm hurts, I'm getting some kind of disease, or when my tummy hurts, or when my back hurts, because that's just programming. That's just perception that we've been taught. What's your thoughts? See how it quick to think things, discern as it says, and that's individual consciousness. So we have consciousness. Consciousness is neutral. It is non-dimensional and non-temporal. And then you have personal consciousness is a product. And we have our personal consciousness is a product of thought generated by the individual mind, whether that thought is consciously invoked or unconsciously provided. See, the individual mind, whether that thought is conscious, that's personal consciousness, whether that thought is consciously invoked or unconsciously provided. So remember, we have something unconsciously telling us stuff we're not aware of. There's someone telling us to do something. This unconsciously provided, that's part of your personal consciousness. There's an aspect of you who are saying something to you, like, oh, if your arm hurt, and your consciousness thought, because that's what you're aware of. Your consciousness thought is what you're aware of. Your arm hurt, and you said, oh, this must be some form of sickness. You have that unconscious thought is going to say, no, no, John, think another thought. Don't think that it's sickness. Think another thought that it's health and it's your body, it's work, and that you're healed. You know, that's that's what is unconsciously provided. You know, we constantly have two minds. Which one we go with all the time? Most people go with what they can see, what they can feel, what they can think. You know, not what they can. Yeah, just what they've been programmed, but not knowing that there's another aspect of all this that's out there. That's that still that little voice within you. That's who you truly are, the higher self that's saying, oh no, don't do that. Oh, call so and so. You totally ignore it. Oh, go do this and do that. You totally ignore it. I heard Dr. Joe Dispenza said, if you put something off to do tomorrow, what you can do today, you hear something and you said tomorrow, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. That's your unconscious thought telling you to do it today, but you consciously going to be like, oh no, I'll do it tomorrow. You know? So yeah, so that's what consciousness is: neutral, non-dimensional. It's not just on this dimension, has no dimension, and it's non-temporal. It's not physical, and it's personal conscious. It's a product of thought generated by the individual's mind. And you also have stream of consciousness, being non-dimensional, also being non-temporal, also. It's an individual human consciousness, which is always operational and contributes to all human consciousness. Being non-dimensional, non-temporal, once created, it always exists. Remember, your thoughts are conscious. Your thoughts are conscious, and the only way to stop them from not materializing in this physical world is to balance it. And as I mentioned before, if you think a thought and you hear and you say, oh, I'm sick, my arm, something's wrong with my arm. The only way to balance it is to think another thought. No, I am well. I am healthy. You know, if you think, oh, I'm going to be in an accident today, immediately you change and think, no, I'm going to be safe. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home safely. Oh, my kids, no, my kids are okay. Balance your thoughts. Your thoughts have a life of their own. They will manifest. They're doing it now. We're creating our environment wherever we find it, whether good or bad. It's our thoughts, it's our consciousness, thoughts and emotion that's creating it. So be mindful of your thoughts. And then you have individual consciousness becomes almost powerful when individuals become aware of their thinking. And that's our goal. I think this individual consciousness is where we should be aware of what we're thinking, observe their thinking. I don't know if I know how to observe my thinking and begin to mull over what they were thinking, discern what is useful and what is not, you know. I think, yeah, we're just going to go into the part where we have to watch what we think.
That's hard.
That's hard, yes.
Very
And
hard.
yeah, yeah. Because sometimes you're thinking and you don't even know you're thinking. You just,
Exactly.
your mind just going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see consciousness, it's this invisible thing around us. It's just this invisible awareness that we have to tap into.
It's
And
everywhere.
everywhere that you can't see. And when it says raise your consciousness, all it's saying is become aware of who you are, that you're not just this body. And when you raise that consciousness, you raise your vibrational energy. You know, and that's what we have to do. It's just, that's how I see it. Okay. Yeah, it says decision actions consciousness of the human mind add to the stream of human consciousness. As consciousness is neither temporal or dimensional, consciousness is permanently added. The only means of diluting the stream of human planetary consciousness is to add positive or negative decision making and actions to it. Just even if you can't stop, just make sure you're not thinking fearful thoughts and things that will manifest in your life. Immediately balance a negative with a positive, please. A negative thought with a positive thought. So what is inexplicable, inexplicable every by conjecture is that some moments, events that have not yet occurred are so significant to human consciousness has to be inevitable in the stream of consciousness. With practice, we can know that part of the future with confidence. That is, with practice, the mind can access the transition point of now to view a past moment or a significant future moment event. And that's just if we can stay in the now moment. If we can stay in the now moment. Because the stream of consciousness is neither temporal nor dimensional, a mind that has the intention of knowing an event, either historic or of the future, can access the stream of consciousness. From my own experience, it is not necessary to sit in meditation to do so, but simply to think about some subject as an open question. Almost instantaneously, a drop down picture appears in my mind. I do not reject what my mind sees, but accept that the drop down exists and then examine what I see. Validation occurs with the passage of events that I live through from 1 minute to the next and continue. It is days and to the next, and sometimes it is days, weeks, months, or even years before validation occurs. So he's just saying how we can know what's coming in the future. He could ask a question. He says from his own experience, you don't have to sit in meditation. To meditation to do so, simply think about some subject as an open question. And please, if you're watching this, please try to ask the universe. I see a lot of people on TikTok is like, you can be like, oh, what is there a storm gonna come? Ask the universe. You know, as he said, you don't have to be in sit down in a meditation mode. But sometimes we do that though. But when something's shown to us, we totally be like, no, no way, no way, you know. So ask the universe and be open to what you see if you have questions. Yeah, Doris Cannon says the universe is always yes. Always yes. Ask. What is the mind? Quanta is the organizing agent for the mind, which is mental software, giving it the capability to make positive or negative contributions to the stream of consciousness. Because quanta pervades the material organ of the brain. Because quanta pervades the material organ of the brain, it provides the aligning pattern and order to both with mind, either aligning with the order and pattern or not, as determined by the individual. Okay, so it says quanta, and we're going to see what quanta is. Quanta is the organizing agent of the mind, which is mental software. I know when we see software here, we're thinking about the computer. So quanta is the organizing agent of the mind, which is a mental software, giving it the capability to make positive or negative contributions to the stream of consciousness. Because quanta pervades the material organ of the brain, it provides the aligning pattern and order to both with mind, either aligning with that order and pattern or not, as determined by the individual. So we see it's like our mind is working off a computer, and it can contribute to our consciousness either positively or negatively. This is what it's saying. Our mind contributes to our consciousness, or not just our thoughts. Our mind also contributes to our consciousness, which is the brain, which is the quanta pervades the material organ of the brain. And I don't think the brain is just a receptor. The universe is mental. So this is just telling us that there's a divine aspect outside of us. And the brain, whatever the mind is sending into the brain, they can receive it or no. It's up to us. And based on how we were indoctrinated, based on what we've been taught, a lot of time we either accept it or we don't. Like what it was saying about asking the universe a question about the future. It's going to come through your mind. It's going to come to your brain from the mind. So we see the consciousness is thought, it's mind so far. So it's going to come to your brain, to us, to the brain. The mind is going to send it to the brain, because remember, the mind also have access to the Christ consciousness, our higher self, the I am self. So the I am self is going to imprint on the mind and be like, John asked if it's going to rain tomorrow, show him this. And based on your programming, you probably accept it. You probably think, oh, just my mind, and get rid of it. Or you accept it and be like, oh, yeah, I saw this, like it's going to rain, it's going to flood tomorrow. Okay? So that's part of our consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah. Said another way, because the mind is non-dimensional also and non-temporal, as is consciousness, a mind that is in alignment with the order and pattern of the universe can effect change in the consciousness of the future by thoughts. By thoughts, decisions, and actions, and are in alignment with the pattern and order of quanta. And he says quanta is a software, is the organizing software of the mind. Mind then is in alignment with the same self-organizing quanta of the universe. And you remember we read the Christ letters and it talked about the mind, the psyche.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, let's talk about time also. It says time does not exist. Time is an invention of humans.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, I kind of think that the other day. It's not natural.
Mm. And
The,
what do we need time for?
exactly.
Huh?
Why would we need time unless you want to control us?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that time is an invention of humans. The objectification of the success section. Oh, this is an invention of humans. The objectification of the succession of events that form the past, present, and future, that are based on the passage of events, principally measured from the succession of days and nights as the earth rotates on its axis and as it rotates around the sun. Same for the moon's movements. Clocks and calendars are simply human invention to help those who define themselves in terms of time to manage their materially objectified lives. And we have to have this concept, especially when we're looking for that abundance, when we're looking for that healing. You know, we have to understand, as the church used to tell us, God timing, what he said, um, time, what the church used to say about time and waiting on your blessing. But
God is
really,
on time.
on time God.
Yeah.
Yeah, God is an on time God. So
Yeah.
we can't um get burdened down and discouraged when we don't see that car coming or the house or our account that they tell us to believe in. It's not coming because remember, as it's telling us, count the months, and there's no time but the present time. So don't get discouraged. Continue to stay in the present time, and keep feeling yourself being healed, feeling yourself being abundance. Stay in the present time and live that abundance life, live that healing life. You know, that's what the now time is. Because we're looking, oh, I've been sick since 10 years now and I'm not getting better. But there's no time.
No.
There's
Because
no time.
even because what they say, 1,000 years is what, a day?
Yeah, 1,000 years is a
Uh-huh.
day. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1,000 years is like a day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it can come immediately too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just tell myself when I'm at that vibration, it will come. When I'm at the vibration for me to have this abundance life, it will come. And it's like the church used to say, when you're ready, it will come. It will
I
come.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as Christ letter says, you don't have to do it. Just change your mindset. When we change our mindset enough and know all these things, then everything will come. We attract. We're not giving all our energy to politicians and to this and to that. We're focused on making ourselves better. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay to be selfish like that. You know, we're focused on healing ourselves. We don't have time for what's happening outside of us. And eventually the universe is going to reward us. You will reap if you faint not. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. We just continue to do the work. There's no time. I know people be like, I'm 80. Stop. Someone told me Prince didn't celebrate his birthday. Yeah, he didn't. Because he believes, and this, I know he was a different religion. I'm not sure if they teach it, but he believed the birthday song, and it says if calendars doesn't exist, as we're reading today, clocks doesn't exist. We're put,
Exactly.
yeah, you know how we create with our thoughts and our emotions. We're putting time on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And with our presumption of we're 80 years old. Really? Oh, we're 50 years. Really? We're not. Some of us are like 3,000 years old, basically. But
Yeah.
are more. Are we, we're timeless. We don't die. And yeah, so we're putting all that on ourselves. So, I'm 60, I can't get a husband. Really? Come on. Get out of that. There's no time. There's no time but the present. That's it. Clocks and calendars are human inventions. You numbering your birthday is human inventions.
Yep.
Is you telling, oh, I'm third now. And so I heard someone said the other day, oh, if when you were born, you're 9 months, right? To show you how off this is. When you were born, you're 9 months old. But then they don't start from 9 months, they start from 0 months. And the next, you see what he's saying,
Yeah. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
it makes
Uh-huh.
sense.
Why not continue counting?
Yeah, you should
Mm-hmm.
continue counting. The next one,
Yep.
you should be 10 months.
Yep.
Yeah, right? So, yeah. The past, present, future of time, where are we? Clocks and calendars are simply human inventions to help those who define themselves in terms of time to manage their materially objective life. The past, present, future of time. Because time does not exist, we are forced to consider the succession of events that we call the past and the future. Those two temporal, these are temporal. They're temporary. Those two temporal terms, the past and the future, are better explained as those events that previously occurred in this moment and those that have not yet to occur in this moment. Remarkably, the present, particularly this moment, actually does not exist as it is perpetually represent perpetually represents the transition where what has not yet occurred becomes what has already occurred. Because of that, and because of time, and because time does not exist, the mind can access past moments and future moment via its consciousness. The terms that denote time as the present, past, and future that are used by a person limits their inherent ability to think outside of those terms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. So that have yet to occur in this, it's just this moment. Remarkably, the present, particularly, the present represent Remarkably, the present, particularly this moment, actually does not exist, as it is perpetually represents the transition where what has not yet occurred become what has already occurred. Because of that, and because of time does not exist, the mind can access past moments and future moments via its consciousness. Yeah. All right, knowing is a pre-conscious awareness of an event that has not yet taken place. And knowing has often been associated with transpersonal experiences as well as an aspect of the psychic awareness. It usually occurs spontaneously and without the person anticipating its occurrence. I personally have had several powerful knowings that seem to have appeared to prepare me for some future event or circumstances. Some people have had these occur to avoid some disastrous event when the disastrous event, which is often more believable than some beneficial event. So this knowing, I was surprised when I read the meaning for knowing that it's some psychic event. It's just it's just some psychic event that is probably sent to us by our higher self. That's something's gonna happen. That's just knowing. And it says it's a pre-consciousness awareness of an event that has not yet taken place. Yeah, I was surprised about that's what knowing is. Let's read a little about the universe, the infinite universe. As an infinite entity, the material universe appears to have had a beginning. Its continuing expansion would indicate that an endpoint of its existence is beyond human intelligence to determine at this time. And it's calling us. We are our own universe. We have to believe that. We have to believe that we're our little universe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. From the work of astronomers and astrophysicists over the last 5 centuries, the observable universe revealed that it has a definite self-organizing order and pattern to it that seems intentional. It appears intentional simply because quanta, and we read what quanta is, it's like this operating system of the mind, the system of mind. It appears intentional simply because quanta, in whatever state it exists, carries on inherent pattern and order that does not become evident until quanta transform from its unorganized state without mass into matter with mass. The rules of this self-organizing aspect of quanta and the universe exist within 3 laws of motion that were discovered by Sir Isaac Newton and is law of universal gravitation. The non-dimensional, non-temporal universe, subatomic particle experiments that are recorded in cloud chambers have shown particles have disappeared and some particles that appear out of nowhere. The only rational explanation is that they arrived from a place that is neither here nor there and has no past, now, or future, but simply is, while other particle is in whose path in the bubble chamber are short with the particle seemingly to disappear. All of this leads to me to believe that there is a non-dimensional, non-temporal universe that exists because it is both non-dimensional and non-temporal. It cannot be in parallel, beside, or with our material, temporal, and dimensional universe. The only way we know that it exists is from peripheral evidence, such as in the subatomic particle collision experiment and associated with its interaction with the infinite universe. And they're still not calling God. Everything is logic. Yeah, but we know that at the core of who we are, there's a creator.
Yes.
There's as he said, non-dimensional, non-temporal, non-temporal universe, particle. That's where the same thing to describe consciousness. They don't want to use the word God. They want to use consciousness. They want to use this, that. But we know what started everything, as we read in the Christ letters. It's just Father, Mother, God. At the core of who we are, that's the God particle that started everything. Call it the Big Bang, and created us. All right, so quanta, what makes, and we mentioned it earlier, that it's the operating system for the mind. So quanta, what makes all of this interesting is to consider the bubble chamber evidence of the Higgs boson particle, which is also called the God particle, adamantine particle, ultimatum particle, and for myself, the quantum particle. Okay. So this is, and that the quanta is the quanta is the plural, it's a plural, it's a noun. So maybe they're calling God the quanta. So the quanta, which is, they told us earlier, that makes up the mind. And we read in the Christ letters that the mind, our higher self, our soul interacts with the mind and the mind interacts to this ego, personal consciousness that we are in the 3D. So the quanta, which makes up the mind, that means, and it calls this, what makes all this interesting is to consider the bubble chamber evidence of the Higgs boson particle, which is also called the God particle, the adamantine particle, the ultimatum particle, and for myself, the quantum particle. And we just call that the God particle, as me and my sister was just talking about. We know that's where everything comes from. Let's read this paragraph. Okay. So the interesting aspect of quanta is that they exist in many states: non-material wave energy, material without mass, material with mass, material mass without order or pattern, and having location. Location is in quotation marks because quantum particles transit between the non-dimensional, non-temporal universe and the infinite universe. Quanta carry pattern and order that is not visible until it transforms to eventually become material and organized. That's whatever you're calling quanta is just God particle. In other words, if quanta have its capability, then dark matter and the accelerating expansion of the infinite universe can be more reasonably understood. All right, so quanta is basically what they're calling um, the God particle, that where everything comes from. Everything organic comes from that particle. Stated more plainly, dark matter is our unorganized, non-dimensional mass of quanta not having yet become transformed and organized. And this dark matter thing, I was listening to Santos Bonini, I remember what his name was, and he was talking about the ether is really dark matter. Yeah. They let us think everything dark was bad and everything light and white was good. And
But the ether is the sun,
the
right?
the ether is they took it off. It's you know the periodic table? It's an element. They took
Okay.
it off the periodic table because somehow they didn't want us to know about it. It
Mm,
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't taught in school. The ether wasn't talked about in school.
mm,
And I think it's that dark matter everyone's talking about. And it's all around us. And because I was thinking the other day, earth and ether and heart, it's just all those words is just so similar, so similar. The ethers, they try to this is where all the energy come from. This is what
mm.
I think even Tesla was talking about, how we could get energy from the ether.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's that part, it's just that energy around us, that invisible energy around us that nobody wants to teach about and only some people are talking about. And I'm gonna go as far as I know they're using that technology. Some of these companies, they're not paying for electricity as we are. They're tapping into the ether. They're tapping into the ether. And I think someone said we're if ethereal beings, eternal beings. Oh, it's a bunch of hiding and we're some of us are ethereal beings. We amount of energy we give off can light a city.
Wow.
And you know how we read before that
When you bless someone,
exactly.
28 miles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 I just think the ether is something they don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about. And they're tapping into it. They're using it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where we're gonna get free energy from. I think in the future. They're probably using it and charging us for it. But that's a story. That's a story for another day.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, yeah. All right. The universe will always send us somebody to tell us about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
This is interesting.
yeah,
Interesting.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. Okay, vectors nexus. I'm going to see what this is about. I never heard about them. It's my first time, but I'm going to read it. So I said vectors are used in this paper as those developing influences that eventually becomes an event that impacts our lives in some manner at some time in the future. Vectors can be tracked by their historic evidence. For example, the event that led to the commitment of the United States to invade Vietnam, specifically the alleged incident in Bay of Tonkin, eventually resulted in the wrongful death of over 53,000 soldiers just for the 53,000 soldiers just for the US and its allies, and not counting the many tens of thousands of Viet Cong North Vietnamese soldiers and civilians. Mm, yeah, yeah. And nexus, in Latin, nexus is both singular and plural. A nexus is the event where vectors coincide at the present. Once a nexus has occurred, many new vectors will be spawned from it. Another example, always the first intentional wartime use of the atomic bomb of Hiroshima, Japan, August 6, 1945. The number of vectors spawned by that nexus now number in the tens of thousands. So these are events. It really boils down to this. Mind is the access point for forming quanta, for additions to the stream of consciousness, and for viewing it. When we talk all of the above into when we take all of the above into consideration, it really boils down to this. There is that which is of people and that which is not of people. Of that which is not of people, we know these things. A quanta self-organizes and express with pattern and orders. All that is not of people seems to work with grace and ease, where all that develops fit together and do not conflict. Mind exists and is capable of organizing quanta, capable of adding to the stream of consciousness. So it's telling your mind is not in this physical body. Of that which is of people, we know these things. People are made of quanta, the same as is the material
Yep.
universe with its pattern and order. People have a mind that is capable of manipulating quanta. People possess consciousness. People can intentionally use their mind and their consciousness to access global human consciousness and to view past moment events, present moment events, or future moment events. Some people seem to live with grace and ease, with evidence of serendipity, happenstance, and fortunate coincidence occurring regularly in their life to fulfill what they need. And some people intentionally form quanta to manifest what they need. Oh, wow. What is this?
That's interesting.
It is. I like this.
Very
That
interesting.
people can intentionally use their mind and their consciousness to access global consciousness and to view moments, future moments and events. Yeah, the mind is all this war is gonna.
Psyche.
Yeah,
Psychic.
yeah,
Psychic.
yeah. The key to consciousness, manipulating the quantum field and manifesting what is needed in one's life, is the right application for using your mind effectively. In terms of artificial intelligence, think of the mind as organic intelligence, having ROM memory and RAM memory. ROM memory contains the innate program that comes with us when we were born. RAM memory is that portion of your mind's program that we had programmed into your mind when we were infants and children. Um, so the ROM memory, it's like, I'm telling you, everything is like a giant computer.
Yeah.
So ROM memory is what came with us when we were born. And RAM memory
And what they
is
teach us of.
exactly, sis. It's
Uh-huh.
what we were programmed when we were
Mm-hmm.
children. Uh, so programs that are ineffectual or cause problems need to be deleted and replaced by functional, productive, joy-filling programs that lead to a fulfilling life with purpose and meaning. Ineffective programs you have ineffective programs you have learned that cause difficulties in life need to be removed, much like removing an app program from your computer or smartphone and then installing, reprogramming, or updating an ineffective program. Yeah, we need to delete some of these programs. Yeah. Question: how do we know what programs are not working well for us? Consider
Mm.
the following areas of your life. How are your relationships working out with friends, family, spouse, or partner, children, neighbors, associates, and service people, for example? How effective is your money management skills working out for you? How about your relationship with authority figures? How about self-discipline? Do you have self-discipline to defer gratification until a later time? Many other questions can be devised that reflect your life. The following bit of wisdom can change your life and change the consciousness of the world. What you send out comes back to you, eventually in one form or another. The wisdom is ancient. It has been said in one form or another for millennia by ancient philosophers, including Chinese, Greeks, Roman, Egyptians, and by contemporary philosophers and spiritual, metaphysical philosophers. Your thoughts, your consciousness radiates out to the whole world. When you are conscious of this, you can reject the negative consciousness that comes from global consciousness. Okay? So your thoughts radiates out to the whole world, which you are, when you are conscious of this. Yeah, we understand that our thoughts create our reality. We understand that. We understand our thoughts create our reality. And when you are conscious of this, you can reject the negative consciousness that comes from global consciousness. And this is Paul's teaching. You have to get out of the world. You have to get out of this world. Don't be influenced by anything in this world, this negative persona. We have to delete some of these programs. And how to reprogram our mind. Let's check how to reprogram our mind. Our mind is not known. How to reprogram our mind is not known to too many people. Yet the process is rather simple, but takes a good deal of dedication and perseverance. The step works best when preconception couples are already aware of the consciousness needed before their child is born. When it is born and all through its childhood, needed before the child is born, when it is born and all through its childhood. Children raised with positive values, beliefs, assumptions, and expectations grow with the strength that is provided from having a full RAM memory program with the right code for living life abundantly. For those of us who were not so fortunate to be raised this way, there are several steps to program our mind so that it is capable of living more joyfully with the quantum field, so that life can be lived more easily with less conflict. Before, become aware of the old programs of your mind that are not providing you with an easy way to live. So this is a way, step by step, how to reprogram our mind. I know it sounds like a computer when we say reprogram. Go back to that ROM programming that came with us when we were born and get out of the RAM. And if things in the RAM programming is not working for us, like if we're still not living that abundant life, not being happy, um, I'm scared of authority, as it mentioned earlier. We each have to go through our life and see what programs not working for us. Some of us keep using the same old program over and over again and expect different results. We have to totally delete them. We have to think of ourselves like a computer. If you have a virus on your computer, it's not going to work until you get rid of that virus, basically. So, and this is just saying, how do we do that? How do we get rid of the things that's not working for us in our lives? And it says, become aware of the old programs of your mind that are not providing you with an easier way to live. Find what's not allowing you to live happily ever after. Is it religion? What is it? Become aware that there are mind reprogramming programs available. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's affirmation.
Oh, affirmations. That's a good
Uh,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
Caution. When selecting a mind reprogramming course, investigate and assure yourself that the process and end results are in alignment with your best interests and the best interests of others also. All right. Keep in mind that decision making, and actions that are not in alignment with the good consciousness of others will not produce sustainable positive results. And if we're doing that, we're still in our ego. Remember, we still have to be kind to others in spite of what they do to us. We can't be me, 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 me. Yes, I want a bit of I want abundance, but I don't want it at the expense of others.
Mm.
If I want a bit abundance, I have to put in my subconsciousness, how am I going to help someone when I become abundant?
Right.
Right? Am I going to go out every Thursday and feed the poor? Am I going to help my family members who are less fortunate, or even my neighbors? You know? Yeah, we want healing, but what are we going to do with our healing? Are we going to go and tell what God has done for us and that they can do the same thing he does for me, he can do for them? So that has to be included in our program and how we can help society in our blessing, you know. Because if we're only thinking, you know what, I'm going to get my abundance and I'm going to go out and party, buy my nice clothes, buy this and that, and not thinking of others, it's never going to come.
No, then you'll be like the prodigal son.
Exactly. And then you have to be like the prodigal son. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're going to, just like the prodigal son, you're going to lose everything you gain if you become like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The footnote below provides a distinctively clear instruction for thinking that is in alignment with the greatest good for all people, for making a highly positive contribution to human consciousness, and the most effective program of thinking for manipulating the quantum field. Yeah, this anything else I highlighted? So he says, the footnote right here, these are learning centers for sustainable families and the Millennium Families Program. Makes sense of ethics, a unique, unified normative theory of ethics, morality, and values. And these are stuff that can be read. So self-organization of our species occurs on two levels: survival of the species and survival of the level of organized social existence. The first level is evident simply from the survival of our species over 200,000 years, because we know now that values always underlie decision making. Individual Homo sapiens have and still do make unconscious decisions based on their four primary innate values: life, equality, growth, and quality of life. Our species is inherently self-sustaining and capable of surviving because of the values that are innate to our species. Our presence here today is proof of the existence of those values. All right. Yeah, so this is it today, just looking at things from the quantum level. And yes, we know we come from the God particle. And remember, what I'm taking away from this, remove some of the programmings that hasn't served us. Many of us been struggling for a while. What we've been taught, there's certain things that we were born with and some things that's been programmed into us to main one: religion and politics. Religion and politics. As those programs served us, I would like to delete those programs.
Amen.
Yeah, I would love to
Amen.
delete them,
Yeah.
because everything we're looking for is within us.
Yeah.
Everything we're looking for us is within us. Is what has voting done for us? I would like
Nothing.
someone tell us what voting done.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing. All right, so that's some things that we were taught growing up. It's not always right. It's not always help to us. Yes. Yeah. And I want to see what kind of programming that is out there. Mind programming programs available. Yeah. Yeah. As my sister mentioned, affirmations is a good one. Become aware of old programs of your mind that are not providing you with an easier way to live. Okay? Easier way. Our life shouldn't be this hard. Our life shouldn't be this hard. All right. So that's my live for today. Thank you for whoever joined us online and whoever joined us on Facebook and YouTube, and anyone else who'll be watching these at a later date. All right. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And I wish everyone had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I'm at 226 subscribers. I can't believe it. Thank you all. Thank you for subscribing. Even if you watch and you don't subscribe, I'm thankful. I just want everyone to gain something from this, because when they said, who was it? Malcolm X, I think, says the revolution will not be televised. And the revolution has to be in the mind. Has to be in the mind. Has to be in the mind. No, no guns, no violence, nothing. Your mind, your mind, your mind.
The mind is a weapon.
The mind is the weapon.
Yes.
Yeah. Mind is a battlefield.
Of course.
Yeah. It's a battlefield. So
Yes,
don't
it
think
is.
you have to go out there with your chains and your guns and change things and storm the White House. And no, the mind. The mind. You have everything within this body to create the world we want to live in.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Father, we thank you today. Thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you. Thank you for everything as we navigate this game of life. We thank you for the knowledge that's been pouring out, the understanding. I thank you for the love of my sisters and my subscribers and my listeners. I'm thankful that they come. My sister comes, and some stopped and they listen, even if just a moment. I pray, Father, that that moment will turn into a light inside of them that is greater than they can ever imagine. So I pray, Father, that these words will continue to light, this world, light inside of each and every one of us, that our mind will be enlightened and divine revelation will take place and knowledge of self will take place. I thank you. Bless the homes represented here. Bless my sister wherever she is. You know, Father, and I know deep within me that greater things is coming for her. Father, I pray for strength for her when she's weak. Lord, let you said the scripture says, let the poor say I am rich. Lord, let the weak say I am strong, Father. When she's weak, help her, strengthen her, God, because, Father, this path that she's on, it's not for her. I know it's not for her. She can't see it. She's gonna see. It's like she's bearing the burden of a bloodline, a world that she don't even know. And you, Father, you know she could have done it. That's why you know she can do it. Reveal to her, remind her, let her feel her strength, let her feel her power, because the word says you don't give us anything that we can't bear. Nothing. You know she can do it. She can't see it. She probably can't feel it now, but Father, you know she can overcome. So bless her and bless my listeners and bless my subscriber. Bless her homes. Bless everyone that touched my sister and care for her. Father, whether they're kind or whether they're not even kind, we ask for your divine blessing and your divine favor as we navigate this realm. Bless our communities, our neighbors, wherever we go, whomever we touch. We pray for your divine blessing. Thank you, Father. Bless us as we go. And we say thanks. Thank you. Be blessed, everyone. Be blessed. Thank you. Thank you if you're watching online. Thank you. Hey, sis. Talk to you later.
Okay. I'll talk to you after therapy.
Okay. All right. Be blessed.
Okay. All right.